We're back here, another edition of the Down and Back Cornhole podcast. As you can see, I'm with, I pointed the right direction, the voice, Mr. Donnie McPhee. Donnie, how you doing?
Hello, friends. I am doing great, Doug. It's been a wonderful evening. I went on a little daddy-daughter date tonight. We went on the bike. We got some dinner, and now I'm back here talking to you.
Yeah, I'm back. I was supposed to have a show last week, but whatever was going around Detroit in the at that national, I picked up as well. So right after I did the interview with Kaleb Batson, Eddie's Grinderslev, I was like done. Then I had to go to a hockey tournament, missed the ACL Canada Central Conference tournament / Ontario Provincials. So this here will be a double episode. So once we are done talking, it won't be over. I will add on the Eddie Grinderslev, Kaleb Batson. We talked to them about the winning in Detroit, the doubles, and then I also talked to Kaleb about his, you could say, transformation that he's made in the last year with all the stuff that's going on in his life, and then still managing to get himself in shape, which is, I think, I can't even do it myself without even doing all the extra cornhole stuff.
Well, listen, even he's not in shape, his cornhole game is in shape right now.
Oh, like I talked to him, and I even asked Eddie about that too. It's like, after watching Kaleb play the 47 rounds with Jacob Gore and then having to play on the broadcast that night, were you kind of worried that he may have been done? But no, he was ready to go.
Listen, cornhole shape is a thing.
Yes, and that's why we're all here up.
Yeah, because listen, I got a little tonnage from here down.
Yes, yeah. So I will do a quick recap of the ACL Canada Central Conference tournament. They had a lot going on. Like I said, I was coaching my son's hockey team, dealing with other stuff there. Holy, you think cornhole drama is that? Try dealing with hockey parent drama. Holy cow.
Doug, I live in Massachusetts. Because of baseball, like kids baseball, an entire league of umpires quit and wouldn't even go back to one town. So they couldn't even play the rest of the season because of the parents.
I actually got along with most of the referees. It was just the other parents that just, whoa, yeah.
Why isn't my kid playing?
Oh, no, his kid. Not going to go into it. I could. Not the time, but anyway, yeah. So the Friday night down there, they had a level 1 and level 2 blind draw. The level 1 blind draw, Bernie Portalesi, Steve Hensby, they drove together, then got paired in the blind draw together. I got the win there in the level 1. Level 2, fresh back from Vegas, where she was competing in a whole bunch of the World Series of Poker tournaments. Lori Turner partnered up with Adam Laporte to take level 2 blind draw. Then the Crew Cup, been on the show, Dean Lang, his team took it. Team of Steve Poole, Lana Smith, and Craig Raymond, who's probably the only senior that looks like he could probably be a junior, would be Craig Raymond. If anyone sees him, he does not at all look his age. But
wait a minute, what's with all these cornhole players playing poker at the same time?
Well, actually, Lori's was a poker player first.
Okay.
And so she's been down to Vegas many times in the World Series stuff, and I think she was down there for a week, and played from what I followed her on Facebook, she was playing almost every night in 2 different tournaments a night. So she was just poker all the time down there. But yep. So Saturday blind draw. Saturday blind draw was Justin Clark and Chris Shire getting the win there. We then went on to doubles. Team of Bernie Portalesi, Connor Weiss take down level 1. Level 2, Jeff Desjardins and Daniel Shire. Level 3 doubles was Alicia and Logan McLean, brother and sister team there, take down level 3 doubles. Women's singles. This is where we start to become repeats of the last conference tournament. Lana Smith showed that she's probably the top female player in Canada. With that, she takes down the women's. Steve James, again, as did Lana, he repeats as the seniors singles champion at the Central Canada Conference. He also won the senior singles at the Open in St. John's. Then we get the singles. 5 divisions. We had an open, an advanced, a competitive, an intermediate, and a novice. They were busy there on the Sunday. Bernie Portalessi takes down the open singles. Jeff Haveron takes down the advanced singles. Michael Aston Klink takes the competitive singles. Now, he did have a strong run back in Niagara at the Open in Niagara in the competitive division. So him getting this here win, really no surprise to me because he's been really kind of moving it up in the competitive. I'm going to see him probably next year in the advanced. He doesn't want to hear me say that, but I'm thinking next year he'll be in the advanced tournaments. Intermediate was Andrew McNay and novice Adam Laporte, doubling down from his level 2 blind draw on the Friday night to take the novice singles. And that's it from the weekend. More to come on the weekend because it was a few other things happened in Essex that we will be talking about. We have a long list of stuff to go. I was almost thinking this could almost be like a Festivus in July.
So, Doug, I have a question for you there because you talked a little bit about advanced and open.
Yes.
So, one of my very best friends, who didn't think he was one of my best friends, Josh Keck, put out a little poll about, advanced versus open. And I forget what the question was, but when you really look at it, a lot of the players don't want to play, advanced players don't want to play an open because you got to play against a pro.
Yeah.
But if you're really trying to get to that next level, what's your feeling on being in the open division versus advanced?
Well, here, I'm going to say this is one of the first time we haven't really had an advanced division that much. We've been doing an open and then a competitive because it seems like everyone we've got so many people up here that are points chasing that almost everybody, people who should probably even be in intermediate at times, are wanting to win the open because they want to get the maximum points they can. Even if they're going 0-2, they're thinking they're getting more points and they want to be in the open. So for here, it's not really a big deal, I don't think, between advanced and open because most of the time it is just an open tournament.
Okay, because where I am in New England, I can play open, go 0-2, and beat points off of the people that are in advanced.
Yeah.
And the thing with it is, like, I love the point system. I love what is happening right now with it. And I love some of the rule changes coming up soon. I think the biggest thing is when people are upset about playing against a pro, they really shouldn't be. If you don't live in Florida, you don't live in the Carolinas, you don't live in the Kentucky/Illinois area, you don't have much to worry about.
No. So I think, that's the thing, because that's where most of those pros are in that area. Sure, you got a few other little pros up in the Great Lakes division there as well, but got a lot of PDC players from the Great Lakes division as well. But yeah, it's most of them. And up here, if you're in Ontario, you're playing. Well, there's only 2 of the pros being full pro or PDC otherwise that are not from Ontario. So you're always playing against what should be the top players.
Well, and that's the thing for me is I want to play against the best players, right? Because I want to see how my game's working and not working, right? I mean, I go to tournaments more to hang out and have a great time and have fun and, be with people that are like-minded like me that want to play cornhole, maybe have a couple 1-2 adult beverages or maybe not, but I'll want to hang out and just have a great time. I mean, that's more of what it is for me than worrying about a podium. I don't post my week in review where, I got a 1, I got a 2, I got a 3 this week. Let me show you my podiums. Like, I have the people that follow me. I have the sponsors that sponsor me. I'm not worried about all the rest of that stuff. And, when it comes to people saying they have to do it for their sponsors don't care about your podiums. sponsors care about you repping their brand.
Mhm. Yeah, and for me up here, I'll play local events, regional tournaments, but when it gets to anything big, I'm just local right there. Here, Chris Meek, I need one of those hats. Maybe in a
he
couple
was
weeks.
upset. Meek, we talked for about 10 minutes before we started this, and he was so upset that he didn't have one of these hats. But I had to explain something to him, that he didn't show up at local living.
No.
I got a VIP parking spot for the RV and got to park literally right beside the barn, where it was stumbling distance, and I literally needed that a couple times.
Well, I've heard that I may get that spot this year, so we'll see.
Doug, I think if we go down there together, it's going to be pretty telling when I'm pulling in and you get sent to the back of the line.
But no, it should be fun. But yeah, like it's it's go to have fun now. Bigger tournaments, I'll go to do live feeds and just kind of and mingle with the people and kind of get to know get to see what some of those people are up to now.
Well, and that's a good thing. One of the other things I'm seeing right now, and I do it a lot. I know you do it a lot, and I know there's a couple other people out there. Chris Torrentola does live feeds at tournaments, and I kind of like more of the having a lane and having people come to it than kind of chasing people around. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think for me, it's a little more natural because the people know what they're coming to, and they know what it is when they show up at a broadcast court, right? I think that kind of brings a little more magic to some people.
Yeah, and then you're not fighting the people who are walking around. You get someone walking in front of you, or you get that other random person who just starts talking crap right beside your phone or whatever that you have with you, right? And it's just like you said, just having that your own lane is just so much better. And I know St. John's, I got to try out the new headset mic. Got to remember from now on that it is corded, and when there was a big shot and I pull back, I almost pulled the whole stuff off the table, and it was almost done from there. But it's just, it gets fun.
Listen, you had to bear with me for 5 minutes while I try to fix this cord.
Yeah,
I'm so used to having my other headphones that are in my case way behind me here that I usually, before we start, have it kind of routed through my clothing and everything else, and you can't see it. But I moved to the bigger headphones because it was easier. But like the big thing with some of the bigger tournaments, I love doing the broadcast stuff. I mean, that's so much fun because you get to sit there and really get into the game with everybody. But what a lot of people don't get either is at the same time, you have to keep it entertaining. So inviting others in and talking to them in between the games, it's not like it's like Trey and Jeff. They're only talking about those people on stage, right? Mm-hmm. And they're on a big stage. They're on ESPN. We're on the Book of Face. We're on YouTube. Like we have to make it way more interesting to keep viewers in there.
Yeah. Like I remember, even Saturday morning in Detroit there, Wally told me to come in and sit with him while he was just on the K9 page. And I did, and I remember it was Lopez. Phil Lopez was playing. I'm not even sure who he was playing. I think we may have called about 3 bags from that game because one of the people on the broadcast, there was Bernie, Wally, and myself. It wasn't me. One of the other people on the broadcast was a little intimidated by Lopez's father because he just sat there stone-faced like he had no reason for being in that situation whatsoever.
Well, listen, I love Phil to death. Phil's a great guy, but he is not on the boards the most emotional person in the world. He's an okay dancer.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look back last year, there was not a lot of animation there, right? He was a lot more stoic. I mean, he's starting to come out of his shell a little more as he's winning, but he's not going to be the guy up there with pom-poms.
No.
It's just not who he is. But I can see where his dad would sit there and be kind of a little more, stone faced.
Yeah.
Because, Phil, as I said, love him to death, but you don't see a lot of passion come out until he hits like a huge shot or something else like that.
Yeah. I believe he did hit a huge shot, and it was still stone faced from his father. It was still, it was, yeah. It got to be. If you can go back and if anyone's a subscriber with K9, just go back, and it was just because even Wally then kind of went in a whole thing with his family that reminded him of his family, and it was just and just to see, for me that was my first time going on a bigger live feed like that, because for me you've seen my setup. I've got the Chromebook, I got the laptop, I got the phone going, I've got those three. But yeah, we're watching Wally's setup, and it was just like, yeah, I'd be lost.
Well, Wally's setup has come night and day in the last year and a half.
Yeah, actually, he's got a new setup. He tried to get me to take, to buy his setup so he wouldn't have to take it home. Unfortunately, I had the little Escape with me. I didn't have the truck, so I didn't have any room for any of the bigger equipment that he was wanting to get rid of.
I might have to call Wally and see what he's got there, because I'm going in deep into the 2024 season, so we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I've got to try and figure some stuff out as well too for my stuff, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge.
So Doug, before we go any further, I just need to ask you about one of your sponsors, because one of your sponsors, I just signed up for their mailing list.
Okay.
And it's HarrisBeachSpirits.com. Can I get that in the US?
I am not sure. I know they saw it at the you may have to come back up here. It is at the Queenston-Lewiston Bridge in the Niagara crossing right around Buffalo. You can get that at that duty free.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's going to be selling. I can ask him, and I can get back to you on that one and get back to everybody.
Listen, I'll make a pilgrimage up just to go to duty free, because I can come up, do some blind draws, maybe do a couple live feeds and hang out. Because me and you really only got to hang out for about, honestly, our friendship is strong, but we've only really hung out for about 15 minutes together.
Yeah, that wasn't on a live feed or anything. Yeah.
No, but like outside of like tournaments and stuff, when we were in Niagara, we pretty much like walked around for about 15 minutes, and then we did some live feed stuff, and we kind of went our separate ways. And I did some of my stuff, you were doing some of your stuff, but our friendship is strong without even actually like being together. I mean, we've known each other for 4 years now, and barely like we're like internet dating or something. I don't know.
Could be, yeah. It's so maybe local living in September may be our next one.
We might have to hook that up. Just remind me when we go down there, don't eat any brownies.
I'll give you all the ones I can give you.
No, don't tell me not to eat them. I missed 2 blind draws because of that.
Okay. Meek is a fan of the Trailer Park Boys, so it's that's.
Maybe we can do a reboot while we're down there, me, you, and him, and we can maybe do a couple scenes.
We could, yeah.
I have the most epic picture of Chris Meek's father's house. Like right in front of his father's house, there's a rock, and it looks like Pride Rock from Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
And literally at dusk, in between tournaments, me and my brother walked down to the house, and I laid down on the ground underneath the rock and took a picture of his dad's house. And it just looks so majestic with the house lit up, with the sun behind it. It was amazing. I'll send you the picture later. Not going to post it because I don't want anybody to know where his dad lives, but it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we do have some topics to cover here. Because
there's a lot of topics.
There was a few things, like for a weekend in Cornhole, all hell broke loose. I think
more than hell. It was like it's like a rift opened up, and the 7th dimension just poured out.
Yeah. Well, the first one, I think one of our first topics here, I have a feeling you and I may not fully agree on. We kind of talked about it earlier today, because it was the thing that happened after the weekend. Josh Keck has been putting, like we said, we're putting some feelers out there, and it would be to do with the pros and any alcohol that might happen at pro tournaments? So I know my feelings on this. I will ask you yours first.
Well, here's the thing, because this is a multifaceted question here, okay? Because the first thing is, beer pricing at events.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of the places that we go to for cornhole, the beer prices keep the rental fee down.
Yes.
Because if you hit a certain threshold in some places and whatever it is, like it brings the gate down. You always got to put a big deposit down, but it may mitigate some of the cost based on what's happening in the venue. So I like that it can keep our costs down for playing and showing up, because the one thing that kind of drives me crazy a little bit, when I pay $120, $130 to play in a tournament for singles and doubles, and then I have to pay a $5 a day or a $10 a day door fee, that to me is a bit much. I've already paid a lot to get in, but I can't put that also on the person running the tournament, because the person running the tournament is an agent of the league, not the league.
Yep.
So it's all on the regional and directors to kind of get those places. But at the same time, they need to keep their costs down, because it's not cheap. I mean, to run a tournament with 30 boards, you're talking what? Average 5 sets of boards is what, 2,500 to $3,000. So you're talking, it's already a lot of capital expense in there. Yep. Now you're going to rent a venue. You're giving up all your time. I think, personally, I think directors should get a cut of prize money. It shouldn't just go back to everybody that's playing. But that's my opinion. But at the same time, BYOB, that gets a little
that's now the next topic, but just to go with the alcohol and the pros.
Well, alcohol and pros, listen, I think they should be able to drink. At the same time, you're an adult. You need to hold your own, right? You shouldn't be falling over during a tournament. You shouldn't be taken out on a stretcher. You shouldn't be, you need to make sure that you are there for the entirety of the tournament and being able to play at the level you play at. That's my opinion. Now, here's the thing, though. Alcohol is not the only thing that's important.
Yeah. Yes. But my take on the whole alcohol thing, especially because people are doing it during their matches, right? Is that we've got the betting involved in that, especially at the pro side of it. You got the people betting on these people to play their best. When you're starting to have a few beverages, and for me, it's just, I would say, look at pro golf, right? Sure, you can do it at the local level. They, those pro golfers, if they're playing a local thing, they can have a few. But when they're playing in a pro tournament, they're not having the drinks, and there's betting on them as well.
But who says they're not having drinks?
You can't see them.
But
well, maybe that's, we go back to what we were talking about before. Does that maybe that the I want to say availability isn't the right word. Just the access to our pros to see what they're doing while they're not actually playing.
Here's the thing. In a pro golf tournament, the pro golfers have spots that they can kind of hide in a little bit, right? Get out of the public eye and kind of, reset a little bit, right? There's a lot of the sponsor tents and stuff like that where they can kind of go in. Our pros don't have that. They have a green room, right? Some tournaments, they have a green room, right? They can kind of go off into a VIP area and maybe decompress a little, hide a little, right? But when you're looking at, like, let's just say Worlds, go to Worlds. Where do they hide? There's one little room on the bottom floor that they can go in the back that's controlled by the organization, right? but how many people can you fit in there? There's not a lot.
Yeah, no.
Right? No. If you go to the headquarters, every office is glass.
Yep.
Where can I hide? I can't hide in someone's office because you can see me sitting in there.
Mm-hmm.
If I go back to my hotel room, closest hotel room is a 5-minute walk away. I might get called by somebody for a clock violation, not showing back up. Right? So
when you gotta go to the bathroom, you gotta go to the bathroom.
Listen, poop rule might be in effect. But I mean, there's a lot that goes on, and the access is unprecedented, right, for us in this game. And I love that. And I love that, these guys can drink and do whatever they want to do, because guess what? At the end of the day, you do you.
Yeah.
Right? This is America.
But for me, you've got the people that are putting their money on it for you to be doing your best, not to be, right. And, it's you can almost take football as well, right? But you got people betting on football. You got left foot Larry, that's the kicker. He's not, crushing beers on the sideline. Then he's got to try and get up and he's maybe seeing 3 goalposts that he's got to try and put it through, right?
Finkel is Einhorn, and at the same time, I'm more concerned about headphones than beer.
Well, there's that too.
I can be someone that has a lot of money on the guy you're playing against. I can get into your headphones and say, hey, you need to lose this game because your opponent's 6,500 to 1, and I put $1,000 on him. But I think the alcohol thing is maybe a little blown out of proportion right now in the sport. The big thing for me right now really is more of the headphones and the drug testing.
Yep.
I mean, I think that those are bigger topics right now when it comes down to it, because of the impact those two pieces have on the game. Where, listen, I had 2-3 many beers. Like, it is what it is. And listen, I'm not a pro. I will never be a pro, because I probably will never even make a celebrity tournament, even though I'm the biggest celebrity in cornhole.
Yeah.
It's it's just about, we need to make sure, and this is where sponsors come in. Sponsors, Titan bags, local bags, they're the ones that need to kind of have their code of conduct to say, Doug, I'm paying you to do this. This is what I expect from you. Right? I don't think it's on the league or on, I mean, the league can put some parameters in there, but I think it's more on the individual and the sponsor to kind of control that a little more. With that, most of the people that are playing pretty much stay within those parameters. You know what I mean? Doug's in the Matrix. All right, I'm here live by myself. So, if you want to talk more about this topic, go to the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say. What do you think? What do you think? I'm still in the show. Look at this. I am taking over. This is the new Corn Doug show. All right, so let me know what you think. Tell me, people, about the topic of drinking in cornhole. Oh, my friend's coming back in. Here he is. One the only Corn Dog is back.
I'm back. I had no idea what happened there, but
listen, I thought I was taking over Canada.
Yeah, you could have been. You could have been. But we'll leave that in the show because that's what we are. We're live. I try not to edit as much as I can. We'll leave that in. But yeah, so I think that's where we're gonna agree to disagree on that there. I think the alcohol is just a visual thing. That I think that maybe once they're out, then maybe they can have a few. So while there's stuff that are going on.
Do you think like bottles and cans should be taken out of it, or the overall like touching a cup?
I think you can still touch the cup. It's what's in your cup.
But if I have the special black cup, why does that make a difference if nobody can see what's in it?
I don't know. I think that there's just too much of a chance for someone to cross the line. I don't know, cross the line, go too far with it. And
I've seen someone drinking that crossed the line many times, right into the middle of the court, done some dumb stuff. But like, I think that goes back on them, though. You know what I mean? That needs to be a sanction upon the person, not the libation.
True. For me, it's just because you got someone, like I said, you got someone who's putting their money down on you. I would think that you would need to have that consideration for that person who's put however many dollars. But then, like you said, you could have someone in the earphones or the earbuds that are, hey, you know what? We'll give you some little extra if you bow out now. I think there's just too many factors in it. We're still too new with it, I guess.
Well, I just think there's too many variables right now, right? Because we are a backyard sport, right? Yep. We are a yard games, tailgating, backyard, beer drinking, doing shots, right? I mean, the first game that really came into the big eye of everybody was beer pong, right? Beer pong was bigger. But now cornhole is so much bigger than beer pong. It's on TV. It's doing all this other stuff. So, the growing pains, the governing body right now, ACL, just needs to keep figuring it out, right?
Yep.
Because there's nothing right or wrong about what they're doing right now, but they need to find their way. And I think with the advent of the players committee, I think that's helping, because if you look at one of the biggest rules, I was hoping that the step rule was gone, but the committee came up and changed it a tiny bit. So will the drinking and drug policy maybe be changed too? Who knows?
I think there is room for a happy medium there. We just need to find it. Right?
Yeah, I can only have a 12 back on the broadcast.
Yeah. But then, talking about growing pains, then goes into our next thing, which you kind of already alluded to a bit, is the BYOB. Right? Now, so to put into context, up here this weekend at our provincials, the ACL Canada Central Conference Tournament, for that I know of, for the fifth time in the last 6 conference tournaments here that we have in our conference, the venue said, get rid of your BYOB because we will lose our liquor license or we will shut the tournament down.
Well, but that's a little different. Right. So are we talking about a tournament that is bring your own, or are we talking about a venue that is already selling alcohol and it's not bring your own, but people are tailgating? So
people are tailgating and also bringing it into the venue.
Well, and that's right.
Right. So then this weekend, so that's, like I've said, that this is happened now with Essex here on the weekend, Windsor. This is now the 5th time in 6 tournaments. So that's the last 2 years, the 3 conference tournaments a year. that this has it's happened 5 times now of 6. This past weekend, they had went to the director running the tournament and said, "We are shutting you down." This is in the middle of the king seat doubles game on the Saturday.
That right there, we've talked about this before on previous episodes, and that's the crap that I dislike, because not only are you hurting your conference director, whoever, your local director, whoever it is, national director, whatever it is, for that spot, because you're not going to get it back. You're hurting that person by bringing in outside alcohol.
Yep.
Listen, I've gone to my car in the past, had a beverage or two, but guess what? I hide it in my car. I'll have my beverage, put everything in a trash bag in the back of my car. Nothing's left on premises. I've had my drink. I'm gone. But when you're going to a tournament that has a full bar, full liquor license, here in Massachusetts where I live, one piece of alcohol that was not sold at the venue is a minimum $5,000 fine against that liquor license. So that hurts that venue. So they have to protect it, because I don't know what you have up there in Canada. We have the ABC, which is like a people that go around to the different bars and try to check on IDs and stuff. I know you guys are pretty similar, but why would you jeopardize that place that's opened its doors to you and the person that brought you there? Like, that's not BYOB. That's just you not like can't afford to go to a tournament. If you can't afford to go and drink, don't do it.
Exactly.
Don't drink.
So with the, like I said, they threatened to shut it down, and then like I said, we have a happy medium that happens here. They then still, like, the doubles, the open doubles king seat game was then put on hold. All the games in the venue were put on hold. Everybody was then to leave the facility and then re-enter with backpacks being checked. Now, I've been, like I said, I wasn't there, so I'm kind of getting some secondhand information here as well, that it was witnessed that some people were then emptying out backpacks at their vehicle, bringing them back. So you know that there was nothing actually found, but you do know that people had stuff there.
Well, and that's
right?
wrong. That's wrong, because you're hurting the people that are bringing that to you. Right? I don't know who the director was. I don't care who it was. I don't care where it was. But if you need to drink that bad, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I've done nips in the parking lot. I've done other stuff like that. I'm not an angel. But guess what? I'm not going outside and getting banged up or bringing it in. I've never, ever brought something inside a tournament, because that to me is wrong. I'll try it in the parking lot. I'll hide in the woods. I'll do other stuff like that. I've done it, but I don't bring it into the tournament, because that hurts a person that is trying to do things for you in the area, that has a function hall or a VFW, whatever it is, a curling club for you Canadians. But you know, that's not right. It's not right.
So then I did hear there was some other complaining about, because it's, there's the venue, like, they got the venue for cheaper and all this sort of stuff. Well, yes. And I've been part of this year trying to get venues for different tournaments. And yes, the venues are giving a discount to the tournament, because the tournament's going to bring the 100, 150, 200 people. And they're counting on those sales, because the tournament's not collecting any money from these sales, where they're giving, like we were going to give everything. Let that venue take everything. We don't want to cut of that at all. That's all of theirs. And I know, and they've said, I've had a venue drop the price by $1,000.
But that's the thing. The venue gets the gate, right? You give me the venue at a discounted price, whatever it is. Say they usually charge $1,500, right?
Yeah.
You give it to me for $500. That $1,000, I will more than make it back for you in the bar.
Yep.
And then it doesn't happen. Now you have to come out of pocket. to make that money up. No, it shouldn't be that way.
Yep.
Listen, a lot of these places we play also don't overcharge for beer, right?
Yep.
I like where I am. Average price for an IPA when you go to a bar is between $8 and $10, depending on where you are. You go to a tournament, it's the same price. It's between like $6 and $10, depending on what you're buying. So, like, why do you have to jeopardize what I built to get this tournament here? Because you don't want to pay $6 for a beer.
Mhm.
If you can't afford the $6, stay the home.
Yeah. Like, see, so my wife works for the city here where I'm at, and she does the booking. So I'd even kind of talk with her about trying to get tournaments to come to some of the bigger venues that she is able to book. So the one facility here would be big enough to have a conference tournament, even big enough to have an open at, a smaller open. And that was going to be, I believe it was going to be in the neighborhood of 16,000 for the weekend for a rental fee. Now, if you wanted to have a bar, they will give bartenders for you, but you have to they have to make $300 on the bar an hour.
You have to guarantee
$300 an hour on the bar per bartender.
Yes.
So you're thinking, oh, that's say even if the beer was $10, that's 30 beers sold an hour per bartender. Oh, we can do that. Yeah, you probably can do that at the peak time. But once that tournament wanes down at the end of the day and you've got maybe 4 bartenders on, you need to make $1,200 an hour.
Well, but
right? You've got no one left at the tournament because everyone, as soon as they're done, they leave. So when you've got like 5 guys left there for the last hour, they've got to do $1,200 worth of alcohol sales for that hour. And if not, the tournament then has to make up that amount at the end.
Well, that's why you need to like front load it, right? You need those people that are still in it in the beginning. You need that bar to be $1,200 an hour. That way, later in the day, as it weans off and people are, relaxing, having lunch, whatever it is, you need to kind of start high and kind of hockey stick down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's I've heard from some people that are there's a lot of people were upset with what went on, and it's just and it's the fact that it's for people that previous going into this tournament. Like I said, there had been 4 out of 5 times that you have been told, don't bring your own alcohol into the venue. You've been told 4 times out of 5. Sorry, but how dumb are you to not have that sink in that, I'm going to be able to do it because no one's going to catch me. You've been caught 4 or 5 times.
Doug, at that point, it's not even about thinking you're going to get away with it. It's you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You don't care. So last year, I went to the biggest tournament in the world, Spencer McKenzie's. And the guy who runs it, John, literally, they put a chain link fence up around the entire venue. They rent it because it was in a parking lot. We played in a parking lot. And some people were throwing beers over the fence. And that would have cost him to not only lose his liquor license at the event, but could also affect his business down the street because he was the main sponsor of the event. So he took a very high-level player and threw them out of the tournament. Would not let them in the second day because they were one of the people as part of it.
Mm.
That's what you have to do. Like, there's no shooting a missile across the bow. You got to go for center mass and just blow the ship up because it affects what you're doing. It affects the livelihood of the people in that venue and the person running that tournament. People just have to be sent home.
And I talked to some people at the ACL this morning and saying, what's the protocol if this happens? And they were said, you get ejected from the tournament. No refund. You don't collect 200 and go home. You get no money back. You're sent home. You do it again, you're then looking at suspension, right? Which I think it's almost that we need to have a couple of people that are set it as an example.
It has to happen, because here's the thing. It's not affecting just one person. It's affecting multiple different facets, because these tournaments are signed off on by a very big 3-letter organization.
Yep.
Right? So no matter if it happens in Ontario, it happens in Boston, or it happens in Salem, New Hampshire, right around me, it doesn't matter. It's the ACL's name gets brought into it.
Yep.
Because it's now part of the organization. Right? And, and then that local director, like my local director, Sean Haley, I love him to death. I don't want to put his name in jeopardy. He's an amazing guy. He does a ton of stuff for us. Like he's found so many venues for us to play in and have like so many different events. Why would I want to tarnish his name? Right?
Right.
Why would I want to tarnish, Matt Pleal's name, who's running, all of ACL Canada? Right? Because these people are taking time out of their lives and their time they can spend with family and friends to find venues, search out venues, do all this other stuff, and you're going to jeopardize it because of a friggin' one beer or a fireball shot. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I've talked to a local director here who has a couple of big venues in his area that want him to bring tournaments there, and he's like, you know what? With the state of he knows people are bringing their own alcohol in. He doesn't want to put those venues in jeopardy of having that happen to them. So he's just like, I'm not going to bring an event, a tournament there yet, because
but he's not putting his name. But he's not putting his name or their name on it because he can't trust the people around him.
Yeah.
If you can't trust the people around you, come on, people. Like,
yeah. And
people want to grow this game.
If you're going to say that, yeah, and if you probably don't know it, but these venues all talk with each other.
Listen,
right? So if it happens at one venue, it's going to happen. Another venue is going to know what's going on.
Listen, bars, catering places, like all these, they all talk to each other. It's all the same crowd. They all run and do the same thing. Like I grew up in the bar industry, and like these people, like completely know what's going on around them, and they know what's happening. Doug's froze again, so I'm just going to keep talking. But they all know. People, don't jeopardize the places you can play and the places maybe that down the road will let you in, because the game is continuing to grow. The game is continuing to evolve. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And especially on the international stage, it's only going to blow up as we start to go to, like, Canada was the tip of the iceberg. Now we've gone to Germany. We've gone to a couple of other different places. As we start to advance to more of Europe and more of Asia, it's only going to get bigger. I want to see the Snow Bowl. I want to be there, and I want to play Jay Rubin in Antarctica. Outside. Listen, we're going to play outside. We're going to be in full suits because that's the only way I'm going to have a chance. Because if we're throwing inside and it's warm, he's going to kill me. So I just want to make it so that we can play in the middle of the tundra and have fun. But don't jeopardize the people that are working for you to make your area bigger and better. Don't do it. Keep going at what you're doing. Keep playing your game, but don't bring the outside alcohol in. Doug, what do you think? Okay. Thanks, Doug. That was profound. All right. I'm just going to keep going. Doug's not going to cut this out, so I can say whatever the hell I want. But people, what do you think? Let's talk about in the chat below on this. Let's talk about it because we may be able to bring some people in for a bonus episode of some of the topics we're talking about. So if you're really passionate about anything we're talking about, just put it in the comments below because we then can bring you in and maybe talk some more. We can do point counterpoint. I might not even care about your point. I'll still talk to you. I don't care. No big deal. But if Doug's not here, I'm just going to keep having some amazing killer lights. Hold on. I'm going to text Doug right here. Because he's gone. He's totally gone. So let me talk to you a little bit about Doug's sponsors. The Down and Back Cornhole Podcast. It is sponsored by localbagcompany.com. Some of the best bags in the game, localbagcompany.com. jccornhole.com if you're in Canada and you want to get some nice bags. jccornhole.com can bring them in for you. SierraHome.com if you need a home inspection in the Toronto area. Sierra Homes is there for you. They will make sure that your new home is nice, pretty, and safe for you. And the latest sponsor for the Down and Back Cornhole Podcast, Harris Beach Spirits. Harris Beach Spirits, let me talk to you about them a little bit. I've been looking them up online. They have some of the best spirits out there. Sign on to harrisbeachspirits.com for some of the best alcohols in Canada. Doug, I've just been talking to myself the whole time because I love me.
I can't even see nothing here, so I'm going blind here.
Listen,
but, I can kind of see it, but just everything just.
I went through all the sponsors. I talked about the local.
He's just gone to shit.
Don't worry about it. Listen, that's what I do. I'm king of the shit show. But I talked about your home inspections.
Oh,
I talked.
Okay, yeah, it's just absolutely insane here. Yep.
All right, Doug.
This is just insane here.
We got through the booze. I talked about some Harris Beach.
Yep.
Great alcohol. I'm gonna have some soon. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some 51% rye alcohol.
Well, the other thing. Yes. The calling of the distraction.
Oh, the flippity dippity.
Yes.
I'm going to let you go first on this one. I want to hear your point of view on the flippity dippity.
I flip cornhole bags. That's what I do. So I'm not sure. There's other there's other distractions out there that bother me more than flipping a bag. You know, like the trash talking when you're going to throw. Sometimes I don't like to be touched, so don't hug me during play. Right? Just play the game. Right?
I don't know. Cornhole's different in Canada. Nobody touches me during cornhole.
it's the deal. It's I don't know. There's more
Well, there's a lot
any,
that goes on there. So to your
yeah,
point, Doug, it's not just the flipping the bag. Okay. There
no,
are certain people that hold one bag in their hand, put all three bags on the bottom corner of the board, and in the middle of your throw will bend down to pick up their next bag. Is that as distracting as the flip bag? I'd rather the flip bag and you standing still and only seeing the
yeah,
bag move than you bending down at the board and grabbing a bag in the middle of my backswing.
yeah,
Right? I think the talking during your backswing is completely BS. I'm sorry. I'll talk trash, but I'm going to talk trash after my bag hits the board, or I'm going to narrate my bag, right? I'm like, oh, this bag, I'm going to drag that bag, I'm going to put it in. But, right? Not your turn, my turn. I can narrate, I can do
yeah,
whatever the hell I want. But
yeah,
the second I'm done with my turn, I'm going to stand there and just be quiet, right? I think
yeah,
the other thing that's a little disrespectful, and this one's a fine line, so you can tell me if you don't like it. I don't like when I throw first, you're throwing second, right? I throw my fourth bag, and then I reset back to where I was standing beside you, like I still have a bag in hand and waiting for you to throw your fourth bag. I step back, I get out of the way because I'm like,
yeah,
whatever you throw, you throw. But I've seen people stand there in the box as if they have a fifth bag in their hand. That to me is another thing that just is got to go.
yeah, yeah. I'll step back and give that person their space to throw it because I no longer have to be right there, right? So it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, like and and I'm kind of thinking in my head right now. This is the 5th anniversary of me being down in Cherokee at the World Finals there, and on this day 5 years ago, I had a guy as I was throwing my last bag. I just needed to board it to win the game. Um, but as I was about to release my bag, because his last bag did not do what he wanted to do, I'm going to say I believe he was from Kentucky because he asked me if I was from Canada. I had the Canada flag on my sleeve, so I was like, "Yeah, I am. That's the Canadian flag." Um, and as I was about to release my last bag, like I said, he did not like the way his last bag was, and he gives the big clap over. Like he turns to the side and claps as I'm about to release my bag, and as everyone else does, I kind of give the what the hell just happened? Release the bag. I knock one of my own bags off and my throwing bag and lose the game.
See
Right?
that's trash. That's
Yeah.
trash because you got to give, no matter what your bag was, no matter what happened, you got to give that other person their time on the board. They gave you their time. You got to give it back.
Yeah.
Like if he didn't do that and you knock that bags off, he wins fair and square. But by him creating that sort of distraction, that's garbage. It's not right. I'm sorry. Listen, I love to win. I don't win a lot because I'm a lot of times when I'm in a $10 blind draw, I'm shooting shots that I probably shouldn't throw, but I'm trying to practice my game. My game's getting a lot better. I've had a lot more drags, a lot more kind of push bags, some rolls. I'm starting to understand my game more because I'm starting to have more fun with it.
Yeah.
When I push very hard and I'm around people that I don't like to be around because they take the game too serious, that's when I throw a lot more tight. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I'm never gonna try to distract the person beside me to win. I could care less. Guess
No.
what? You can go on to Scoreholio, look up the voice. My stats are not the greatest. I don't care. What I care about is that I'm on Scoreholio. I can play 3 or 4 nights a week because my wife and kids let me. And I can hang out with some of the best people in the world that have the same values and mindset that I do in this game. Now, their values outside the game, I don't care about. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't worry about it because guess what? It's values during the game that matters more to me. Like I've had people approach me like, "Well, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not here for them as a person. I'm here for them in the game." Now, if it came down to me sponsoring them or paying for them to go play, that'd be a different story. But I'm just at a Tuesday night throwing bags, crushing beers, having a great time.
Yeah. So we up here we do have a invite only fun evening for going to just to throw, right? And that's the one where you know what, we don't care. We're gonna talk in your backswing. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna make fun of you. We don't care because it's just for fun. Right?
I've never been invited.
Well, you're a little far away. Because that's one that I know, and I know that this person and some other people watching will laugh, and she will tell me to F off as well because I even did that. There was a band when we were in St. John's at O'Reilly's. We're playing this particular song, so I took a video of it, sent it to this person, and I told people around me, I said, "Watch, I am going to get told off with this video," and I got told off pretty good with the exact words I thought I was going to get because I will say she does not like the song Wagon Wheel. She says it's lyrically challenged. It's the dumbest song. She cannot throw a bag while that song is being played. So when I'm playing against her, my phone just happens to hit the Apple Music, and that song just mysteriously happens to come on when I'm playing against her. And she knows it, and she'll throw 4 bags off, and I have a chance of winning. But that's on a fun day. It's not, we're not playing for big money. We're playing for no money. Right? So.
Well, and that's why, like, so in the last 6 months, me and you have talked a lot about the game, and I kind of stepped back a little bit. I haven't done a lot with broadcasting or doing a lot of other stuff, but I've gone back to my roots of Thursday nights. I've now started playing back in the original league I first started playing cornhole with. So there's a local bar right around the corner from me called the Clatta, and we play in the parking lot. So we have 8 teams. So we do 2 boards at 6:45, 2 boards at 7:45, and it's a best 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 3, depending on the night. And I've had so much more fun playing this game in the last 3 to 4 weeks because of that. Because I can throw an entire game of stupid airmail and miss the board, and my partners don't care because it's all about us just getting back to what brought us in here.
Yeah.
Too many people have gotten inflated egos with their podium picks or their SPR that now they're the best. Doesn't matter. Guess what? Like there was, ready, Doug? There was some posts this weekend about a certain pro, one of my besties, because he was only throwing a 6 point something. But guess what? He still won.
Yes.
Like the win is bigger than the SPR DPR. Guess what? He had a partner across from him that picked him up, and they won as a team, not as an individual, because you're never going to win a doubles game as an individual. And then for that person to continue to go on social media and go on a tirade for 8 hours? Really? Really? Like, you're talking about one of the top players in the game. I don't care that he threw a 6.13 or whatever the hell it was. He's still one of the top players. Guess what? If you want to talk shit and you think he's garbage, put your money where your mouth is, show up on the boards, and play him. Play him, play his bags. I'll even let you pick his bags, and I'll put the money up with you versus him. So, but don't go after somebody because you feel they had a crap game. Like, yeah, he beat your kid, but guess what? Your kid and his partner couldn't beat him and his partner. It's a team sport for a reason in those circumstances, and stay out of it. Like, shut your mouth. Know your role. Stay in your lane. Stop.
Yeah, I've said, I think I said to you, and I've said to some other people that it's almost like that the ACL needs to come up with this year some new content for ACL Cornhole TV. Forget about dance moms. Let's have Cornhole Dads with all the stuff that's been going on. Just have them all at a tournament and just kind of film some of them. I think that would be some fun content.
ACL. If you need an antagonist to walk around with the film crew to get some of this stuff going, hit me up. Trey, you got my number. Don't worry about it. Listen, I can walk around and cause some drama. Listen, I am all about the drama. Listen, I'll be at Spencer's. You can follow me around. Give me a film crew. Follow me around. I can make it happen. But, dude, Dance Moms has nothing on Cornhole. The Real Housewives, I think Atlanta was the best one, right? The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think, was the most juicy one because of all the NBA and NFL wives are in there. Got nothing on Cornhole. Got nothing on Cornhole. Let's go. The Real Families of Cornhole. Let's go. We can make it happen. We can bring it to complete fruition because most of this is just drama that has happened at smaller tournaments and now is brought to the light. Doug is frozen again. I'm going to start saying, if he freezes one more time, I'm going to sing Let It Go. Doug, what do you think about that? All right, so I'm going to... Doug is frozen again on his Chromebook. So guess what, friends? I might just switch to a robot voice, or I might just say, Canada. Oh, you don't know what I said because I beeped it. But guess what, friends? All right. Cornhole is great. I love Cornhole. All right, we're going to shut the filter off. Doug will be back in just a minute, but let us know in your comments below, what do you think about everything we talked about? And do you think me and Doug should start a new podcast about the Can-Am connection? Listen, we had the Heart Foundation. Now we need the Can-Am connection in Cornhole. Like, come on, the Hearts. They own Canada, but after the Montreal screw job, it wasn't nice. Doug, you're back.
I think so. I don't know. I think for this year, we've gone over the hour. We'll come back with part 2 maybe some other time, but maybe just give people some what they want here now. Like I said, we've gone over an hour. We'll still got another 25 minutes coming up in the show here with the real stars of Cornhole. It's not us. Would be Eddie Grinderslev, Kaleb Batson coming up. I got a chance to talk with them after Detroit. Enough of me going in and out. I'm worse than a cornhole bag at a tournament, in and out. Because that's just how bad I am.
We should just call this the Floor Bagger podcast.
Oh, it's just, it's been a night. It's been how long been feeling the last week. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back.
Thank you for being part of this. Give Corn some love in the comments below. Guess what? If you want to throw some great bags,
and even
you broke up again. If you want some great bags, go to local bag company.
You know what? And the thing is,
this is always comical.
And if you can still hear me, I don't know if you can or not.
Cornholebags.com, jccornhole.com. Everybody, stay tuned. Love you all. Doug, take us out.
And as promised, here are the big doubles winners from the weekend in Detroit. I got to watch them play for the first time, and it seems like, Eddie, almost every time I see you play, you go back to 2018 in Cherokee, you're just dominating the boards all the time.
Yeah, I need you to come around more often.
Well, I'll be in I almost said Cherokee. I'll be in Rock Hill there coming up in a couple weeks. Good. So I'll stick around for all of your games then. How about that?
All right, there you go.
And then we have up to I'll point this direction, Mr. KB there. His first time on the show. Welcome to the show there, Kaleb.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Okay, like I said to you off air there, if I was you right now, I'd still be in bed after the way the games you had on Saturday were just kind of long and just strenuous.
Yeah, no, they were super long.
So we get to the news that just kind of come out today here. We're recording this on a Wednesday. You guys are now the number 2 doubles team in behind the team that you just beat, Trzynski and Smith. But kind of a good spot to be sitting going into the World Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We had a feeling that we were going to be number 2. We just got to finish out strong.
Road's a big one.
Exactly, and like I said, this is the first time I got to see you kind of live since 2018. But my big thing is you see all of the different kind of crews, I guess we can call them, with in the pro division, where they all kind of hang out together. And the one thing I noticed with you guys is all your Texas guys. You guys are just kind of always at the boards for each other. Everyone else is kind of, if they're around, they'll go to someone else's boards. But you guys kind of go looking for each other to kind of cheer each other on.
Yeah, so funny enough, most of us are all from the Central Texas region. So most of us that you see all together, we live within 30 to 45 minutes of each other anyways. So we're constantly, playing tournaments together, playing against each other, going to each other's houses. So that's why that friendship is so strong, because we all live extremely close to each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll after that, we'll skip back to Saturday here. That final game. Well, first you had to play against Windsor and Hicks, I believe it was, to get to the final there. And Eddie, I was going to ask you what it's like to play one of the younger players, but your partner is one of the younger players as well. But because there's so many great young players that are in the pro division.
Yeah, we actually played Phil Lopez and Mark Richards.
Okay. Yeah. Late night for me.
It's all right. It's all right. It's Kaleb's come a long way. I first met Kaleb, I believe he was probably around 11 years old.
Yeah.
And he was just getting into cornhole and just wanting to hang out with us and throw with us. And I made a promise to him that if he made it, I would play with him. And it's been a long road, a lot of ups and downs, but we've never given up on each other, and we've always said we've had each other's backs. And I think that's finally showing. I think it's showing that we trust each other on each end of the court. If you watch us closely, we're laughing at each other. We're kind of joking as well. So we take it serious, but we know what each other bring to the table.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I could notice that because I've always talked about the doubles teams here that you can make all the super teams you want, but it's the teams that have the chemistry. You can have two great players come and play together, but if you don't have that chemistry of having that, the confidence in knowing what the other guy can do on the other end of the board, I don't think you can be all that successful.
Yeah, no.
No, I agree. Um, and like I said, a lot of it's just, you know, we trust each other, and I know on the other side, Caleb's got my back, and I've got his back. And it's like I said, we've had our ups and downs. We've had, frustrations along the way, but I think all that has led to what's going on now, to where we're both clicking, and now we know what it's like. I said this, a couple weeks ago. We had to get one under our belt to know what it's like and know what we needed to do. And I think we're just going to try to continue that momentum.
Yeah. Finish the season strong.
Well, go ahead, Gail.
I just said, and finish the season off strong at the World Championships.
Oh yeah, and like you said, I'm my mistake here. You played Richards and Lopez there, which they're not an easy team to play against either. Because as Tony Smith's seen Mark play in the final there, but they've been kind of clicking as well. Because I watched Lopez play earlier in the day in singles, and he had it going as well.
Yeah, no, they both played great. We expected that. We didn't go in thinking that it was going to be an easy game, but I feel like we both knew that if we kept the momentum that we had Friday night and Friday afternoon going into that and just playing our game, they still have to beat us, and we just kind of let that ride.
And you kind of had the shimmy game going a bit as well too near the end of that match.
Hey, I never thought that was going to explode like it did, and all that really was, I was watching Lopez do the shimmy against Kaleb, and Kaleb is throwing 12 after 12 after 12 on the other end, and I said, you're not going to do my boy like that, so I had to do a little point and shimmy back real quick.
Yeah.
And let him know we weren't going away.
Well, Caleb, you and I kind of talked a bit off here before Eddie joined us there, and the mental game on this in cornhole here is just we all know that it's a big part of it.
Oh yeah.
You've also taken on a little bit more this year, where you've kind of getting yourself a little more in shape and that there. I know that's what everyone's talking about, is just how you've come back, and it's like you're really focused on really kind of getting the in shape and the mental game going. What was your mindset going into that?
Just I wasn't happy where I was at in life, and I knew a start was I've done a keto diet for since I would say September of last year. I've been doing it ever since then. Only cheated a couple times, but I've lost over 100 pounds, and I feel the greatest I've ever felt, and then I feel confident. And then next was cornhole, and I just recently graduated high school, and so I knew after I was gonna put my all into this game. So I've been able to play whenever I want, and travel and come back, and just kind of just make cornhole my life now.
It was like, because I was talking with our good friend Mr. Bernie Neighbors about how like I said, it's the mental side to be able to kind of change your whole diet and everything around. Because I was like, especially being you're 17, I know how hard it is to be for like a 50-year-old guy to try and do that, but to do it at your age, it's just I think it's just all of the kudos to you for that there, being able to kind of play at a high level and still kind of keep up with that with all your travel.
Oh yes.
No, and I agree. It's been incredible to watch Kaleb the last year. All the transformations he's done. I know he's been working really, really hard, and I think everything's showing.
Well, and I say this, in kind of tongue in cheek, but we talked before about how I'd still be asleep if I played the two games he played against Jacob Gore. What's your kind of? I think you're over there across from me watching Eddie when he was playing against Jacob there. What's your mindset thinking watching him go through these 47 rounds in one of the games, and you could see the exhaustion he was starting to get because everyone started calling her mom and dad brought him over the water, but. but just to see him going and then thinking like, we've still got to play on TV tonight.
I wasn't worried about later that night. I just wanted him to get that win so bad. It's really difficult to watch because I feel like I'm super nervous for him because I want him to get it so bad. I feel like he deserves it this year. He's watched me countless times to almost be there, and he's been in my corner from day one. I just want to see him get one, and I think people better be ready because he's coming.
So Kaleb, what's your mindset in a game like that where you you almost got a setback where you're just going 4 baggers with Jacob there, and it was just unfortunately there was the one bag at the end there that you didn't get, but just what's that mindset going through when you get maybe through 20 rounds, because people up here they're all dying at round 15.
Yeah.
It's tough for them, but going those long games, what's your mindset in that?
I mean, I really just want to play smart. I'm already this long in the game. Might as well not give up a big round. I would just rather keep it at 2 than give up 6 instead of trying to wash it out. But I mean, just keep my head on and just trying to stay down the middle. Just take my time. You can watch back in the match. I would take a step back and just kind of breathe and then I started walking down slower to the end of the court, just kind of slowing the game down and trying to make it my pace. But I mean, that's really much it. All you can do is just keep on running them in.
Exactly. You talk about walking at a slower pace. I think I was sitting with Sean Asp at the time. I was like, I think Caleb's going to fall over. He's walking so slow, walking back down the other end.
Yeah. I mean, in that game,
I
just wanted to make the game my pace, and I didn't want to play his anymore. I was kind of trying to make it mine and change up something.
I don't know if you were going to say something already.
Yeah, I think he was smart with the pace. Those long games, you're just trying to outlast. You don't want to play at the pace of the hotter person, or I really don't think anybody was hotter that game. I think it just came down to the last who had the last bag. But those long games, I feel like the tide kind of shifted about round 25, and both players started slowing down because they knew it was going to be a long road ahead.
Well, and I think that's one thing and I wish players up here in Canada could watch that as well, because everyone here plays at such a quick pace. We got to go. But it's just, it's that game, and I keep saying, I got that saying from Timothy Pitcher: you're either playing checkers or you're playing chess, and that's that whole long game of just kind of like that mind mental kind of to try and outdo your opponent by just either the pace, because everyone's like I said, everyone up here just wants that next bag's got to go. The next bag's got to go. We got to get the far end. We got to come down and just slow that pace down a little bit. So, I don't know, can you guys still hear me here?
Oh,
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. I wasn't sure if the thing kind of went out there, but yeah, so it's that pace. But so, we then get into, we can talk about the final game there against Smith and Trzynski. Kind of jumping around here, but still, you guys had a couple times where luck was on your side with the bags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I think most big games you're hoping for a little luck on your side. We like I said, we seem to have gotten down both games where it was different from Seattle. We went into the half up both games.
Yeah.
But we went and just talked to each other and just told each other that hey, we made it here for a reason, and let's finish. And I believe after every commercial break, we were able to come back and score a big round to tie it back up pretty much immediately. So we knew that we could do it. We just had to execute our shots.
Well, I go back on when talking about the luck of the bags. I go back to that one that you had, Eddie, where you had that bag sitting on the back of the hole. Jacob just lays up in front, and then yours just decides just to slide in. Then they go do a little bit of hesitation, slide in.
I'm still shocked that happened, to be honest with you. In no way, shape, or form did I think that was falling. I looked at Kaleb like, my bad, man. And when that fell back, we both that was a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that may have changed a bit too, because you guys were kind of going bag for bag, and then all of a sudden he has that bad luck, and then Tony has the bad round coming back again. Like they give Kaleb the chance to take it.
Yeah, I think in between that, I think there was a couple rounds in between that that they didn't show, but it was we ended up going for a few washes, and then Tony had that one missed bag, which it's part of the game. Kaleb executed, and I knew he was just going to stay in the middle, and everything worked out in our favor.
Yeah, because I want to say you had Kaleb. At one point, I'm forgetting if it was Saturday night or up in that game against Jacob. You had like 72 in a row in the hole.
Oh, that was in singles on Saturday. That was in singles from this in the 2 games. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm lucky if I get 72 in the hole in like a tournament for myself, but but it's just it's that feeling when you get on a roll like that. What's going through your head when you're on that?
I mean, I just want to keep on sliding them in. I don't want to change up nothing. But I mean, I really don't try to focus on that. I'm just want to win the game, and not make mistakes.
I've talked to a lot of people up here is that even when they're on a roll at that, or if they start to get off, it's just you just have to worry about that next bag. Is kind of what I'm trying to tell people up here, because if your next bag isn't in or what you want to do, that's your issue. You just gotta focus on that next one.
Yeah, it's a one bag at a time game. That's what I always tell myself. Just you only have control of one bag at a time. Make each bag matter.
So I'm guessing your Worlds is your next stop for you guys. You guys are going to kind of take some time off here now before that.
I'm going.
Caleb's nonstop.
Yeah, I'll be going to Wisconsin this week.
WW this weekend here, yeah.
Yeah, that's Wisconsin this week for the shootout and open, and then the next weekend I'll be playing in the weekend following is Ohio, and then I think Worlds is either the next week or the week after. But
I think it's Wisconsin this weekend, then Canton in the 15th weekend of the 15th, and then 2 weeks off before Worlds. But I've been seeing Josh Keck's video, and I think you're in for a little bit of rain in Wisconsin this weekend.
Oh yeah.
But they're saying it's kind of like Atlanta was last year.
Mm-hmm.
But so, and then Eddie, we talked about before that you just made your video for BG. So we know you have the BG sponsorship, and you're throwing those witchers there in that video. Were you guys throwing witchers on the weekend?
No, we were throwing Kaleb's Wizards.
So then we don't. So leading out there, you got the BG sponsorship. What's the other sponsors that you guys do have?
So I got Texas Star Fire Systems out of Austin, Texas. Great group of people, and then also King of the Hole Austin Airmail with Chase Hunter, who does a lot of the live streams for the ACL now, and then obviously BG.
Yeah, I have BG Cornhole, of course, and then Spark Apparel for jerseys. Any apparel, get at him. So
I'm trying to talk to some people just to see what questions they would have of you, and everyone just kept saying, you know what, we know that Eddie and Kaleb are there, but they're like the quiet team that just shows up. Is that kind of like what you guys like having, that you're I don't want to say you're not as surprised to all the other pro teams, but just for some of the other people watching, you're like, they've said that all of a sudden they just appear in the final. Is that kind of what your game plan is to go in?
I don't think so. I just don't consider us a flashy team. I don't consider myself a flashy player. You know, I go out there and I play to the best of my ability. And I'm not out there, you know, loud and yelling and things like that. So I just feel like we fly under the radar just because we're not a loud, flashy team.
Yeah.
But we're there. You know, we can we like to think we can hang with the best of them.
Yeah.
Is that kind of your thoughts going in as well, Kaleb?
I just think we're not all crazy on the social media and all that. And I mean, we're not doing stuff to try to make us stand out. I think we just want to win at the end of the day and don't care about all the stuff that comes with it. But I think now that we have won 2 nationals, I think now a lot of people know about us. So.
Well, exactly. I think I was kind of standing beside Logan Chamberlain in your finals match there for a little bit, and he was kind of really going at hollering about Kaleb. And I don't even think you even said anything to him, Kaleb. You kind of give him a couple nods, and I even noticed that in the game against Jacob there. It was just, I think you may have said about like 3 words.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the great thing was we were able to have people in the crowd, you know, kind of yelling back at us and letting us know they were there. But as Kaleb said, we're just not I don't consider us a flashy team. You know, Kaleb can hit every shot in the book, and he does it when he has to. But I feel like we both let our play and do the talking. You know, I did that little shimmy, but you know, there was a reason why I did it. It wasn't. I just didn't do it to be flashy or anything like that. But you know, and it works for us. We talk, and like I said, we communicate with each other, and we get loud for each other, and it works for us.
Well, I think that's the best is because you get some players who like to talk a whole bunch, and then they're never around at the final where it's, you know, you guys just kind of, I gotta say, like, guys just kind of like a blue collar team. You guys just kind of come, punch the clock, do your work, and you come out on top most of the time.
We try to.
Yeah, we definitely try to.
Well, you had the last 2 nationals, right? So it's obviously it's been working.
Yeah. And you know, in our mindset, we still got work to do. We know it's not over yet, and we're pushing hard, and we're going to keep trying to play the game at a high level going into Worlds. So we're not undermining anything. We're both not done yet.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember here now if you're wearing the earbuds when you're playing. I think Eddie, I think you wear them sometimes. No.
I might wear them during singles, but it's pretty rare that I wear them. I don't wear them that often.
Is there any music that you have going on in them is it or are they just kind of there for show because you don't want to talk to the person next to you?
I'll have music going on, but a lot of times it's just to drown out the noise around. But probably the last year or so, I haven't really worn headphones unless I play singles, and I usually end up yanking them out of my ear the first game anyways. So.
And Kaleb, I don't think I've seen you wearing them at all. Have you?
No, I've on my first like couple broadcasts I played on TV, I wore them, but other than that, I've never really wore headphones.
So does that leads in because you usually hear the announcers talking, and I couldn't really hear Trey talking that much on Saturday night, but do you guys kind of ever, you know, because I know I have that issue when I do live feeds, I may start talking too loud and the players will kind of second guess a shot. Have you guys ever had that where you're thinking one shot and then all of a sudden the commentator who can see maybe a live overhead of the board can see, you know, what might be open and you kind of change your shot?
I feel like so I can definitely hear, the announcers talking, but I feel like as I'm throwing, I drown everything else out. So it's just basically me in my own head, telling myself what I should do next. Early on, probably my first couple broadcasts, I wore headphones and to mainly drown out Trey talking or announcers talking. But I think over the last couple of years, I've learned to drown it out.
And Kaleb, I know what you like. You're just a machine there. I don't think anything will really even bother you on the boards.
Yeah, I mean, I never really had the problem of like second guessing the shot or anything. But I mean, when I'm playing, I'm not really worried about what's going on around me, or at least I try not to.
Well, we've done our 25 minutes here. Like I said, I've had the head cold from hell here, the my regular summer head cold. But I want to thank you guys for coming on, and we will definitely catch up and do maybe some more. Maybe Eddie, we'll try and get Jamie Cowan to have that rematch with you from 2018, where maybe it'll last more than 4 rounds. You'll be a little nicer to him and let him score 1 point, because he keeps. We always still joke about it that you guys shook hands, said, "Hey, nice to meet you," and then it was next round just good game, and he picked up your bags for you.
Is he going to be at Worlds?
Yes, he will be. He's going to be there. So we'll set that up and kind of do a live feed with that one.
Yeah. That'd be a good time.
So again, thank you guys for doing this here, coming on, and Kaleb, best of luck the next couple opens in Wisconsin and Ohio, and then we will see you guys back down in Rock Hill, South Carolina, in the end of July. Coming up way too soon.
Sure, sounds good.
Yep. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.